1 week after we saw the return of Mike Tyson in the boxing ring against YouTuber Jake Paul, I am hearing people upset across the globe, including here in Jamaica and the Caribbean, of course. Because let's face it, most of us wanted to see Mike Tyson beat the living you-know-what out of Jake Paul. But I think you're all missing the point. So let's talk about Iron Mike Tyson and your money. Welcome back to the channel, people. Welcome back to the channel. My name is Peter Lloyd. Thank you for making it Peter Lloyd World of Wealth for all things finance. All right, so first up, I am not a financial advisor. If you need one, go find a financial advisor. But we're going to talk about the Caribbean, Jamaica, and your money. This week, we are talking about lessons from the great Iron Mike Tyson. Yes, a week ago, we saw Jake Paul take on the living legend. Some people say the greatest boxer of all time, certainly the greatest heavyweight boxer of all time, if not the greatest, at least in the top two, the great Mike Tyson, in a boxing match which had interesting rules, 2-minute rounds instead of the traditional 3 minutes, and lasted 8 rounds. So what should we learn from this? Okay, so I know many of you are really upset about this. Many of you are PO'd because listen, personally speaking, I have nothing against Jake Paul. With all due respect, I don't know this gentleman, but the truth is I tuned in to see the Iron Mike Tyson, even at 58, beat the living you-know-what out of Jake Paul. And we were all solidly disappointed. And I've seen the internet explode, people talking about, oh my goodness, Mike Tyson threw the fight, etc. But let's talk about lessons that you can learn regarding your money and creating wealth, financial freedom from the great Iron Mike Tyson. Now, Iron Mike Tyson was the youngest heavyweight champion in history. I believe he was 19 or 20 when he became heavyweight champion. Of course, this is several years ago. He's 58 now, people. So you're talking about at least, 38 years ago or something like that. In his career as a boxer, he made up reportedly 400, yes, you heard me right, 400 million US dollars, and went broke. He lost all of it because clearly Mike Tyson didn't know how to manage his money. No biggie, most of us don't, right? By the way, I should say, subscribe to the channel, people. I see you like the last video. Subscribe to the channel. Okay, let's get back into it. So he lost $400 million and, well, it just wasn't looking well for Mike Tyson. But there's some aspects of Mike Tyson that you can learn a lot from when it comes to finance. The first thing is the most obvious thing. If you want to achieve wealth, then you have to learn to take risks. You have to. Mike Tyson has perfected this. Now, when I say risk, what I'm saying is risk that has been properly vetted. You've done all your research, etc. If you are just investing in something or giving your money to someone because they said, hey, do it, or it's FOMO, fear of missing out, you are essentially gambling. Gambling and taking a risk should not necessarily in finance be the same exact thing. Okay, so technically speaking, Mike Tyson did what he did by taking a calculated risk, which was absolutely brilliant on his part. Tyson figured out that at age 58, being the living legend that he is, he was going to make approximately, it is said, about upwards of 20 million US dollars. For listen to me, 16 minutes of work. So it's 2-minute rounds for 8 minutes. He also knew that there was no way, and it was evident in the fight, that Jake Paul could ever harm him. There's no way. They were on 2 different levels, with all due respect to Jake Paul's fans. And Tyson, most importantly, recognized that it would not impact his legacy as arguably the greatest heavyweight champion of all time. So he took the risk. In other words, he was able to manage a situation and walked away with $20 million. Now, of course, many of us are going to be upset and say, Peter, if he threw the fight, I mean, you know, what are the moral lessons to be learned from that? I can't say. I can only tell you that he took a risk and he made $20 million, increasing his personal worth, because I think it was about $12 to $15 million by $20 million for 16 minutes of work. And then we have to throw in, of course, his training, etc. So he took a calculated risk. Risk is a huge factor of building wealth. Now, the truth is, my brothers and sisters, when you build wealth, you have to learn to manage your risk even more. But we'll get to that in another video. Now, risk has been a part of Tyson's comeback story. Remember, he lost $400 million and went broke. He went into debt, people. But we saw him do a one-man show on Broadway, which was incredible. I mean, like, none of us saw this. So he's always been known. We've seen him in films, movies. He built back his wealth. Of course, it's not 400 million, but he's doing a pretty good job at 58, if he's now worth roughly 33 to 35 million dollars. 20 million are being earned after 16 minutes work last Saturday. So if we think about it from a purely rational perspective, for you to generate income and to achieve financial freedom, you're going to have to take some risks. But the risk has to be calculated, meaning you're not just going to go buy a stock. Let's say Palantir. Everybody wants to buy a Palantir in the United States. You don't just buy Palantir because it's going up and everybody's buying Palantir. You do your research. You find out the dominance of the company. You know, we're not going to get into that. I'm simply saying that before you take any risk in finance, do your legwork. Do your research. Don't just take someone's word. You go out and do your own personal research before you make any real decisions. But risk is really important. The other thing that I think we can learn from Tyson is tenacity. Now, to achieve our financial goals is not easy for many persons, especially if you're starting from scratch. If you didn't have, let us say, a leg up, if you didn't have certain advantages. Let's say you weren't born in America, for instance, the wealthiest country in history. That gives you a huge leg up. And let's say you weren't born as one of the more dominant classes in America. I'm simply saying that, you know, if you are willing to be persistent, combined with risk-taking, and that risk-taking, of course, has to be based in facts, right? Not just your feeling, and I feel this way, and that's irrelevant. Persistence is one of the reasons why Mike Tyson is still with us. That man lost $400 million and he's rebuilding his legacy. Well, he's not interested in legacy, basically, but he's rebuilding his financial status, and it's because of his persistence. I can also say, on a minor level, another financial lesson you can learn from Mike Tyson is the ability to adapt. Now, we all are taught in finance to have a plan, but that plan must be able to be flexible to some point. Like I said, Tyson started his career as a boxer, right? But we saw him when he was coming back, when he was rebuilding his reputation, because remember, unfortunately, he did go to prison, etc., and he developed a really negative reputation. So what we saw him do is we saw him change his reputation. He adapted, he changed. So when we saw him doing that one-man show, people were shocked. And that's one of the things you have to learn in business, one of the things you have to learn in investment, one of the things you have to learn towards achieving your financial goals. Yes, you set those goals, but they cannot be made in cement. You're going to have to occasionally adapt and change. And I think those are very important lessons. So let's go back over it. Of course, there are other things we could talk about with Mike Tyson. We can talk about his sheer will. And that may tie into his persistence. But his sheer will to come back from losing $400 million in front of the entire world could not have been an easy factor. So what I'm saying is, Iron Mike Tyson has lots of lessons to teach us regarding our journey from zero or near zero to achieving wealth. First lesson, take risks, but those risks have to be calculated. Do not react emotionally. Don't invest. Don't do anything because you feel like it, or your friends told me, or someone said it on the road, or my goodness, this stock is going up, so I need to buy into it. Do your own research. But if you only play it safe, you will never achieve financial freedom. It just won't happen. However, it is key to understand that risk without research is gambling, and gambling is just gambling. Okay, you're taking that's truly a risk. The second thing is perseverance and persistence. Tyson kept going. Even when everybody would have given up, he kept going, and he's rebuilding his reputation. The third thing I'm telling you is one of the things that Tyson also teaches us about money is the ability to pivot, to adjust. Yes, we have our plans. We're walking towards that plan, whether it is a building, a business, or investment, etc. But occasionally things may happen, and we have to learn to adapt that plan to move forward. As I said, Tyson started as a boxer, and to rebuild his damaged reputation. We saw him on doing a one-man show, which really touched the entire world. And the last thing is willpower, because you are going to have those moments, people, when it's going to be hard. You're going to want to give up, but you have to focus. You know, I was like talking to someone last night, and I was saying to her, look, she said, I want to travel right now. And I said, yes, but if you travel right now, you will sacrifice, you will utilize funds that you can use to build. So in 5 years, you can travel wherever you want to travel. So, yep, I was disappointed, just like you, that Tyson did not beat the living, you know what, out of Jake Paul. I'm going to be honest, man. I have nothing against Jake Paul, but I wouldn't care. We all wanted to see Tyson just beat someone. But don't get it twisted. Tyson taught us some very important financial lessons. All right? So thank you for making it Peter Lloyd World of Wealth. My name is Peter Lloyd. Do not forget to hit the subscribe button, people. Hit that subscribe button. It's really, really important. We are growing and growing. We need to get 1,000 subs as soon as it's possible, and we're giving a great product, and I think you all are enjoying it. I hope you like this new technique. I can't be bothered with editing, and I think we should just talk and have a conversation. I'm trying to make the concept of building wealth and building financial freedom as simple as is possible, you know, because the truth is, to build financial freedom is it's not easy, but it's not as hard as you think. Now, again, don't forget the subscribe button. Remember, you are royals, kings and queens. Bless up.